world of the web where code comes alive. HTML's the structure, CSS makes it vibe. But to add some action to make things right, JavaScript steps in, bringing pages to life. You can start it simple right in your HTML. An inline script to ring a little bell. A button click an action, a function that's so neat. But there's a better way to make your code more sweet. Separate your code, keep it clean and clear. HTML for structure, JS makes things steer. Put your scripts in a folder, let your code unwind. With JavaScript, you'll see the magic you can find. External files, that's the way to go. Keeps your code organized, keeps your website flow. Put your JavaScript in a folder named scripts. Link it in your HTML and watch the magic flip. You can start it simple right in your HTML. An inline script to ring a little bell. You can start it simple right in your HTML. An inline script to ring a little. You can start it simple right in your HTML. An inline script to ring a little bell. And you can start it simple right in your HTML. An inline script to ring a little. You can start it simple right, your code keep it clear. HTML for structure, JS makes things steer. Put your scripts in a folder, let your code unwind. With JavaScript, you'll see the magic you can find. Separate your code, keep it clean and clear. HTML for structure, JS makes things steer. Put your scripts in a folder, let your code unwind. With JavaScript, you'll see the magic you can find. External files, that's the way to go. Keeps your code organized, keeps your website flow. Put your JavaScript in a folder named scripts. Link it in your HTML and watch the magic flip. Function in the JavaScript, call it from a button. Cleaner, faster, easier, and nothing is forgotten. Separate concerns, keep the styling in its place. With HTML and JavaScript, you're setting the pace. Images and images, styles and sass. Put your JavaScript in J's for a site that's at its best. Keep it all together, directories for each part, and your code will shine like a well-conducted art. You can start it simple right in your HTML. An inline script to ring a little bell. And you can start it simple right in your HTML. An inline script to ring a bell. Stick with us and you'll go far. A JavaScript pro or a Sage superstar. JavaScript Sage, come and learn with me. From novice to master, you'll be coding with glee.
Alright, back in Visual Studio Code. Notice here that I've created a new file called learn1.html, and here I've got a pretty simple HTML page. And if you run this, it just says this demonstrates the ability to use JavaScript in web applications. So that's going to be our starting point. Okay, so now let's make it do something. I'm going to put a line break here and put that button in, and it's just going to say hello world. Click me and it'll come up with this alert that says hello world. And I'll save that, run it, and I have this little click me button. When I do that, and this alert comes up. Not very pretty, but it gets us started. Now, as the song was saying, we really don't want to have JavaScript code inside of our HTML. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to sort of take a hybrid approach and create a script tag with the JavaScript code in it. And then we'll go ahead and after that we'll create an external file. So here I've put the script tag inside of my head tag. That's my own personal habit, putting the script tag inside of the head tag. Now you can see I have a function here, and we talk about functions at great length later on in this course, but for now it's just a function kind of like a C or Java or C# or whatever, and then it pulls up an alert box and it says hello. So to use this instead of this alert here, all I'm going to do is say do it, and it will call my do it function instead of the alert function. Now you're going to ask, well, what's the big deal? It seems like now you have more code. The big deal is that now I can do a lot more complex things within my do it function, and I won't have to have it somehow in line here. Okay, so back to Visual Studio. The first thing we want to do is create a JS folder here, JS directory. I call it JS for my JavaScript code. A lot of people call it scripts or whatever. It really doesn't matter. Some people just type out JavaScript. Really doesn't matter what you call it. And I'm going to go ahead and say new file there. I'm just going to say code.js, so pretty generic there. So this is where our JavaScript code is going to go. And I'm going to go back here and copy this into my code.js file. And obviously that did a really bad job of formatting it, but that's okay. We love to format code all day long, right? That's why they invented linters. Okay, so now the function is within my JavaScript. So going back to learn.this here, I no longer need to embed the script, and this is one of the beauties of having the separate JavaScript file. So now that's gone, and see how much simpler my HTML file is. And this is what we call separation of concerns. Now my JavaScript is in one place and my HTML is in another. I still need to let it know where the JavaScript code is, because it's not going to automatically know to look in that JS folder for a file called code.js. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this in here, and what that's going to do, it's going to link this in, so now it knows where that file is. It knows the code there, and it will know how to find do it. So if I go ahead and run this file at this moment, so it's still going to work correctly, and voila, the magic of separating our concerns. And the last thing we're going to talk about in this video is making sure that our web application is organized and that everything is in their respective folders. So I'm going to go here and create a CSS folder. And there again, a lot of people name that styles or different things. I'm going to go ahead and have a new folder, images. And so normally in a basic web app, you're going to have CSS, images, and JavaScript or JS. And you could very well have many more folders than that. So let's start with the CSS. Let's go ahead and create CSS. I'll say styles.css. And in there I'm going to paste something for the body and something for the button. Save that. So as with the JavaScript code, your HTML is not necessarily going to know where to find that. So we have to give it a link so that it knows where to find your CSS code. And the last thing I'm going to do is put an image in the images folder, and we'll go ahead and use that. Here again, unless you tell it what to do, it's not going to know that it needs to do anything. img tag src equals images. Oops, got this. Thumb 256 times 256 .png. Oops. Okay, and let me put a BR tag here so it doesn't line break. So when I run this, you'll see the image, and you'll see that the button is now styled differently. The background is the body. The only thing different on the body is the text. So click me, it comes up, and so now we have a fully working web app that has its file hierarchy correct.